Goodbye S23 Ultra. Hello Xperia 1 Mark V. Now I wanted to make this video because I think the Xperia 1 Mark V is fantastic. I've been using it for like over 3 days now, and I know that's not enough time to do a full review on it, but this phone has me excited. And I was pretty excited about the S23 Ultra when it first came out. Not so much because of the phone itself, because the phone is basically the S22 Ultra. I mean, in all honesty, they basically just made the sides more flat and they gave it a 200 megapixel camera. But the huge thing is what's under the hood, which is the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. And if you remember, I actually made a video earlier this year saying that I was excited about the Xperia 1 Mark V because of the same reason, the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, and how I believed it was going to fix all the problems that we had with the Xperia 1 Mark IV, which I have right here. And indeed, it seems that it did. So the Xperia 1 Mark IV, I loved it. I said it was my favorite phone of last year, but it had some serious problems with overheating. If you try to play like a game on it, it would get super inferno hot, and there were so many different updates to the camera because it kept overheating. It would overheat on me in like 3 minutes recording, whether it was 1080p, whether it was 4K, and even shooting photos, it would overheat on me. I can remember one time I was out just shooting photos and it was hot outside and I got a thermal warning, which is insane. One time I tried to shoot 1 minute of TikTok footage because I had just got my Tesla Model Y. I was trying to shoot some video clips so I could make a TikTok and an Instagram reel, and I couldn't even do 50 seconds of video footage without it overheating, which was insane because it wasn't even continuous. It was like 15 seconds, 10 seconds. So it was a really frustrating experience if you wanted to use the video camera. Thankfully, I don't shoot a lot of video when I'm not recording my videos for you guys, and I use my iPhone for that. So when it came to the Xperia 1 Mark IV, I loved it. I loved the screen, I loved the cameras, I loved the haptic feedback, I loved the form factor, the 4K, the 120 hertz, you could put SD cards in it. There's a lot of stuff to love about it, but it was just held back for me from being a completely, like, basically perfect-ish phone because of the heat issues. Well, enter stage right or left, whatever side of the screen this is. And now we basically got all those things fixed because the Xperia 1 Mark V now has the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. Battery life is better. Heat is better. The overall performance is better. And I even think that the cameras are better. Now, there is a new camera sensor, which I think that adds a lot to it. But the actual quality of the photos, last time using like auto mode or just using basic mode, it didn't feel like it always took the best photos. But now I've taken some pretty good ones and it feels more consistent. I don't know if it's some updates they've made to the algorithm for the computational photography that is very minimal. I don't know if it's because of the new sensor, but the camera feels sharper, it feels better, and I feel like I'm getting more consistent photos. So there is that. But I did a video test. I tested it out to see if I could get it to overheat, and a lot of people have been asking me questions about this. I did a 21.5-minute video, 4K, outside, and it didn't overheat. So just to put some context on this, it was 81 degrees outside, 89% humidity. Like, it was pretty muggy and hot. Now, it wasn't 90 degrees. It wasn't standing out in the middle of the sun. I'm going to test that out tomorrow. I'll cover this more in my full review. But preliminarily, this thing is doing a lot better than the Xperia 1 Mark IV. The Xperia 1 Mark IV, even if it was 80 degrees outside, would still overheat in like 5 minutes. So the fact that I got 21.5 minutes, it didn't overheat. I turned it off. I got tired of standing outside and getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. So it was very, very reassuring and very exciting to be able to sit there and record that long. And the phone didn't even get that hot. Honestly, up until about over 10 minutes, you couldn't even tell that it was getting warm. It started off maybe just a little bit of warmth right over here, and it stayed pretty localized even through the case. Like, I could barely feel it probably till about 8 to 10 minutes. And then it started to get a little warmer. But even by 21.5 minutes, the entire phone wasn't hot, and it was not nearly as warm as I would expect it to be. And it stays cooler than my iPhone. And here's another thing. Like, I use the iPhone, even if I record with like 8 minutes sometimes on it, 8-10 minutes, the screen will dim because of heat issues with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. So it's definitely better than the iPhone. And the screen did dim a little bit after about minute 16, I think. There was a noticeable drop off in the screen brightness on the recording, but that's something that most phones do to try and keep the heat down because I had the screen brightness on 100%. So recording 4K, screen brightness on 100%, the screen didn't even dim any until like minute 16. And overall, Yeah, I was really impressed. So as long as I can get 10 minutes, if I can get 10 minutes of continuous 4K footage, I'm pretty happy. Like, I'm not Steven Spielberg. I'm not shooting a lot of crazy videos. So the fact that I got 21 and a half minutes, very, very reassuring. I think that's going to be great for people in most climates. And I will admit, Texas, Southeast Texas, Houston area is very, very hot. I mean, we have terrible humidity. Every night, 100% humidity. Even at nighttime, it feels like it's 90 degrees during the spring and the summer. So yeah, I feel pretty confident that most folks are probably going to have a pretty good experience with this. I am going to test it out again, middle of the sun. It's supposed to be like 95, 94 tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But I fully expect it to perform a lot better than the Xperia 1 Mark IV. So yeah, basically, I'm really excited about this phone. Ever since I've been using it the last couple of days, it's the first time in a while I've been this happy and this excited about a phone. Because I love the Xperia 1 Mark IV so much, but it had those hangups, and now those hangups are seemingly, or at least appear to be gone based off of my testing so far. The camera seems better, which I didn't really think was all that possible. And I haven't even gotten into much pro photography yet. And here's some camera samples. You can see them. I've been impressed with it, and I think that there are some noticeable updates here. The new sensor seems better. It's also supposed to be twice as good for low light and also skin tone stuff. And it's got the Cinetone S for the recording video as well. So there's a lot of great things here I still haven't even touched the surface on. And that's one of the important reasons why you got to take at least probably 2 weeks is what I feel pretty fairly comfortable with when it comes to reviewing a phone. Because there's so much involved in it. It's not like, oh, hey, I pulled it out of the box. Oh, my gosh, it didn't overheat. It's the perfect phone. And that's not any stretch of the imagination what I'm talking about here. But it is encouraging to see that it has improved this much and in these areas. Because those were the areas that I felt were shortfalls and were problematic for the Xperia 1 Mark IV. Especially being so expensive. $1,599 in the US last year. I don't know what it's going to be now, but I think the prices dropped down some. You can pre-order it now. Actually, I have a link in the description if you want to pre-order it. You can pre-order it through Amazon, I think through Sony. They're going to give you like some free Link Bud S and like a $50 gift card of some sort. But yeah, there's a lot going on here, a lot of stuff, and so much of it is attributed to the same thing that the S23 Ultra did, which is basically just change out the chip. There was so much that the Xperia 1 Mark IV did right, and then the Xperia 1 Mark V came along, it improved it, it fine-tuned it, it added these extra areas of brilliance, and the Sony's, like I said, this is my favorite. This one, yes, it is definitely my favorite so far. Only been using it a couple of days, but I'm more excited and happier about this than I was with my S23 Ultra, and this one will be my daily driver moving forward for the foreseeable future. But I'm super happy about this, and I'm glad Sony listened. Like, they probably had to watch some of my videos talking about how terrible the overheating was, and that was the thing. Some people are like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, but here's the thing. When you make a phone that's $1,600, it's designed to be a creator phone to where you can record video and take photos and do high-level stuff, and then it overheats in just a few minutes, or if it's out in the sun, you can't even use it very long. That is very problematic because I couldn't use it for some of the things I wanted to use it for. So now I feel like I've got all that back. I feel like Sony listened. Like I said, they probably saw some of my videos. Yeah, I really got after them about that one. So Sony, thanks for fixing that. And yeah, I'll continue on with this. But so far, I'm really excited about it. I like it a lot, and that's the best thing that I can say about it. They seem to have fixed pretty much all the issues that I had last year, which is all you can ask for in a new phone. So glad to see the improvement. Really excited. Really enjoying using it, and we'll see how things go from here. I'll have my full review out later. But yeah, this one was my favorite so far for 2023. And then, bam, yep, no longer the S23 Ultra. I like the Xperia 1 Mark V mo better because it took my favorite photo last year, it made it better, and yeah, I think it's fantastic. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go down in the comments section. I will get back with you. I'll try to anyway. There's a lot of comments, but I'll do my best. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means a lot. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you guys next time.